Show me.
Welcome to another episode of I Welcome You to Kung Fu, the show where I have a guest who is not drowning in martial arts mayhem as I am. Have them pick any movie from the genre that sparks their interest, and I pick a movie that I feel complements their choice. Today, my guest is a stalwart of the film talk community, someone who gives the real and keeps it real on all things movies and sometimes hip-hop, and I think that makes him the perfect guest. They go together so well. It's peanut butter and jelly. It's milk and cookies, hip hop, and kung fu. Kev, I welcome you to Kung Fu.
Wu-Tang martial expert. There's not many who can match up with him.
Oh man, I love that intro. Appreciate it, man.
Before we jump into the movies here, what do you have going on with Real for Real?
So with Real for Real, man, I'm thinking about talking about, well, first I want to go see, I know this is going to bother you so much. I'm going to go see the Kill Bill double feature.
Look,
It,
I acknowledge that they're very well made movies. I just don't acknowledge them as martial arts classics.
no, oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I guess you would say rip off of Lady Snowblood, right?
I mean, it's not necessarily rip off. You know, I don't judge a lot of things for being quote rip offs. I of course just my main gripe is one that they're highly regarded as these like martial arts epics, and I'm like, okay, if you think that, you should also go watch these movies that inspired it. But no, I just find it derivative of 10 other movies, and I'm like, if I want to watch that, I'll just go watch those 10 other movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with Tarantino, you could see what's influenced his work. Like Jackie Brown, he's kind of pulling from
Right.
blaxploitation films, stuff like that. Um, it's crazy, man. I feel like, how do you feel about him as a director, though? Not the
Yeah, I
personal
mean
life stuff, just,
he's completely fine. I haven't seen the last one still. I still haven't watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but
oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, I grew up. I used to watch. You get that age where you just like rewatch a same movie for like a month straight.
Yeah.
So like I remember as like a young teenager or something, I probably watched like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction like 10 times in 1 month or something like that.
Yeah. Classics. Yep.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
What else you got
I
going
got you.
on the Real for Real?
Yeah, man. I'm just kind of seeing what's going on with Netflix and Warner Brothers, so I'll be talking about that too. Give my take on it. I know everybody's been talking about it, but I want to give my feelings on it too, because I feel like if you
Right.
love cinema, you love going to the theaters, like you don't want to see that happen. I know it's convenient for people to sit down and watch it at home, but you don't want to see a big studio go down that way. So,
No, no, you don't.
yeah.
No, that stuff's scary. I mean, we've talking kung fu, we've lost some great kung fu movies to some studios falling short. So going into the kung fu here, what is your experience with martial arts and kung fu cinema?
Man, it's funny. I knew you were going to ask that. So what's interesting is my introduction to martial arts, I would say, came straight from Bruce Lee. That was like my foundation because those movies were like, man, it was like the gospel growing up, bro. The
Right.
energy, the philosophy, the way he moved, the way he carried himself. Bruce wasn't just doing fight scenes. It felt like he was kind of rewriting an entire language of what action looked like on screen, and
Right.
was the biggest, minority action hero in the first, in my eyes. So. For me, it was him and Jackie Chan, and that was obviously two different worlds because Bruce gave you that intensity, the precision. Jackie gave you the creativity with the comedy, with the most insane stunt work I've ever seen. I know we
Right.
all give it to people give it to Tom Cruise. I feel like it's a different thing, but Jackie Chan is my favorite stunt person. And but just between Jackie and Bruce Lee, man, between the two of them, that's where my love for martial arts cinema began. I mean, I'm not nearly as well versed as you at all. I've seen some stuff, but that's kind of what shaped my taste and what made me appreciate like choreography, timing, storytelling through movement.
Mhm.
It made me more so like appreciate the craft of it.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen from Donnie Yen, like in Jet Li, kind of what I say like the modern day martial arts guys that I've followed, it ultimately is going to trace back to those guys, Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. And I'm
Yeah.
sure way more people, obviously, right? But those two for me, like, is who I saw growing
Yeah.
up the
Yeah,
most.
Bruce is somewhat of a Rosetta Stone for martial arts act, and not even just for martial arts action, but like on just like how to do powerful and convincing action on screen. Because even before him in Hollywood, it's the John Wayne punch. It's
Hmm.
the double axe handle. Like you think of like old James Bond movies of like uh I'm trying to what's the OG James Bond's name.
Yeah, Connery. Yeah. Hmm.
Think of him like he's this stone cold killer trained in all aspects of war, and he's like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And again, like you have like those Western fight scenes and the John Wayne punches, and
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like any Hong Kong movies that may have came over may have not worked for a lot of people because it was that old school style. And then you have
Yeah.
Bruce Lee coming in, who's like, I'm just gonna kick you in the face real hard.
Yeah.
So he like he
Were you a
shows
fan of the
people in the
Green
West how
Hornet,
to
or
do it. Sorry.
were you a fan of the Green Hornet?
I have seen a little bit of it. It used to come on TV every now and again. It
Yeah.
is my it's my white whale to find a box set, a DVD box set of the Green Hornet. Everywhere I go, I look and I can never find it. Can probably find it somewhere online, but you never know. I enjoy some Green Hornet. It's not great. You can see not just him sort of working out how to do things on screen, but also like when you have stuff like that, it's clear that the performer himself is not in charge.
Yeah.
And I sort of have the same issue with Enter the Dragon, where you can just tell going from him directing himself in Way of the Dragon to Enter the Dragon that it's like this is Enter the Dragon is what it looks like when Bruce is in full control. He is the director, he has full control of the camera, all that stuff. And then you go to Enter the Dragon and it's like, okay, he's only in control of himself. There's clearly somebody else in charge of behind the camera, in charge of everything else, and it doesn't quite work for me.
Oh, okay. But I was going to ask you because I know that's like the commercialized version of Bruce and what made him, this huge American star. But so from the martial arts standpoint, you feel like it's lacking.
I like Enter the Dragon. I think it has a great cast. I love the trio, Jim Kelly and John Saxon. I like the
Yeah.
villain. It's all very as Jim Kelly said, it's all straight out of a comic book and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the actual fight scenes themselves, yes, Bruce is going to look good no matter who's directing, but he's not going to look as good as a Hong Kong director who knows what to do or just Bruce Lee directing himself.
Yeah. I mean, Way of the Dragon hits different for sure.
Yeah.
And shout out to Chuck Norris. All them jokes on Chuck Norris, y'all better stop. Chuck
Oh
Norris was
no.
a beast.
No, he's great.
Yeah.
He couldn't beat Bruce Lee, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Bruce Lee designed it that way.
Where did the jokes come from anyways? It just
I don't know. Walker, Texas Ranger. I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing if those jokes came pre or post or during Walker, Texas Ranger. Because, of course, he's a big 70s action star, 80s action star.
yeah.
Movies that aren't very good, but, he's
Yeah.
there.
Those canon films are fun. They did what they were
No,
supposed to
and
do.
I had like one weekend as a teenager that I watched like 5 Chuck Norris movies, and I was like, these are bad. And like I enjoyed like a little bit of like the Octagon or something. Like I enjoyed the final fight of Braddock missing in Action 3. But
Yeah.
like I watched like 5 movies, and I was like, what are we doing?
No,
These are
I would say
awful.
for him, if I'm recommending anything from him, it would be Invasion USA or Delta Force.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go with those two, and I wouldn't go much further.
If you haven't seen it, watch the final fight from Missing in Action 3. Don't watch the whole rest of the movie. Just watch that
Oh
final
yeah, I
fight.
haven't
It's
seen. Okay,
pretty
okay.
solid.
I've seen the first one. There's 3 of them though. Dang. Okay.
The final fight's pretty solid. I don't recommend the rest of the movie. When you hear kung fu movies, what do you see in your mind? What's the vibe you get just from like if like just someone bringing up a conversation? Oh, old kung fu movies. Like, what do you think of?
Man, I think of intensity, man, rawness. I think about just like beautiful imagery. I think that what's interesting is like, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is like this huge commercial Oscar success. But then I
Mm,
watch something like Iron Monkey, and it's like I see it here.
mm,
I see like the groundwork here with
yeah.
the wire fighting. Obviously, there's more comedy and stuff like that, but you don't get Crouching Tiger without something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
if you want to see like a really good, more raw version of Crouching Tiger, I would go. There's a great movie called Duel to the Death.
Duel to the Death.
Duel to the Death.
I'm actually making a note of that. Yeah,
It's
Duel to
about
Duel to the Death.
this Japanese fighter and this Chinese fighter. They're like families or something, have like a deal where every generation one of their fighters comes together and they have like a duel to the death and see who's better.
Hmm. Okay.
And like chaos ensues and they both end up having to team up at one point to fight together. But it's like it's crazy wire work.
Oh
It's
wow.
epic sword fights. It's amazing.
Add it to the watch list, man.
That's
Appreciate
like
you.
again, that's like I feel like if you
83.
if you come from a even if you come from like Hero, if you come from Hero or Crouching Tiger,
Hmm.
Duel to the Death is like a much more raw version of that.
Man, I appreciate that, man. That's a good look there.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
1983 too. Wow. All right.
so you post on your TikTok every now and again about like hip hop and the beefs going on and all this other stuff, developments in the hip hop world. Are you aware of the deep history of kung fu and hip hop?
I was actually I was going to ask you, break it down for me, man. Break it down for me because one thing I find interesting is how Wu-Tang
Hmm.
loves martial arts, and obviously their influence with correct me on the title, 36 Chambers,
Yeah, yeah,
Shaolin
yeah.
monks. Yeah, like how I feel like they were like some of the beginning guys that kind of like hit that hard.
So
But
they're a
what have
big
you
part of
seen?
it. I'm not super well versed in like the full 100% connection and all their history. Of course, I don't know if I don't know if I posted my Apple Music Wrapped. Uh, Enter the 36 Chamber or whatever that first album is called
Hmm.
is my most listened to album of last year though. Um,
It's
but
great.
so like the part of the connection goes even deeper in like a decade before Wu Tang, because
Mm,
it goes into the formation of the whole b boy culture and
mm.
breakdancing and hip hop, all that. I mean, you probably know breaking comes from the break in the music. Everybody would dance during the break
Yep.
in the music, so they would extend the breakdancing.
Yeah.
But a lot of that culture of breakdancing came from kung fu cinema
Mm.
because the kung fu movies that were coming over starting in 71 with not even Bruce Lee but with Five Fingers of Death, King Boxer. That was playing, other movies were playing on like 36th Street in Chinatown in New York. And New York is like the hub of like breaking and hip hop culture that way.
Hmm.
So a lot of these theaters that were playing them, they were like the rundown, shoddy, dirty floors, rats running around on the floor,
Hmm.
movie theaters. A lot of those theaters were occupied by a lot of young black kids.
Hmm.
So these young black kids would see the stuff going on in these movies, the movements, the flow of the kung fu moves,
Mm.
and that would translate into their breaking.
Wow.
And that breaking eventually evolved, and like one major crazy shift that happened is like these gangs that were violent at one point towards one another. They were like, killing each other in the streets. Eventually it stopped and it became like a duel in an old kung fu movie where they would stand apart and one at a time, instead of fighting, they would break.
Oh man,
And they would be like, throw down, whoever wins this duel, wins. So then
that's what I call
now they're
gangster.
not killing each other in the streets, they're
Yeah,
dancing.
yeah, that's
So like
gangster
all
there.
that like old school b-boy culture, a lot of it stems from old school Hong Kong.
Wow, wow. I feel
And then
like
of
you
course you
made
eventually get
a
the
you made a
movies and
little bit of
stuff.
a video on this too, right? You kind of briefly talked about it
Yeah,
before.
around the Olympics debacles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
ray guns.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, that's wow. So it's interesting. So you feel like Wu-Tang is the ones who really just, I don't know, I guess got the credit for it, kind of
I
because
mean,
of
I don't
how.
know. I mean, I think that plenty of the b-boy stuff got credit for it. I think that I don't, I'm not in the b-boy culture, nothing like that. I'm
Yeah.
not. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the people in the breaking community don't acknowledge that history. They just
Yeah.
don't know about it. It's probably something that's not like spoken. but like
Mm-hmm.
it's there. It's deep in it.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that big time. Wow. That's what's up.
Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into our first movie, Yuen Wu Ping's 1993 classic Golden Harvest film, Iron Monkey.
Abbot, I want you to shave my head. If you refuse to help, I swear I'll burn this temple down.
Iron Monkey, directed by Yuen Wu Ping, starring Donnie Yen, Rong Guang Yu, Jin Wang, Shi Man Tang, and Shi Quan Yen. Iron Monkey is a story of a Robin Hood type figure called the Iron Monkey. He steals from the rich and powerful and gives to the poor and needy. Despite being a criminal, the town appreciates his deeds and sees him as a folk hero. Cue the Wong Fei Hung theme song as Wong Kei Ying and his 10-year-old son Wong Fei Hung come into town. After being accused of being the Iron Monkey, the government assigns Wong Kei Ying to take down the Iron Monkey and will hold Wong Fei Hung in custody until the job is done. Kev, why did you choose Iron Monkey?
Man, it's one of those Donnie Yen movies I just have been meaning to get to, man. Kind of like that movie poster too is kind of iconic for me because I've always seen it.
The black background.
Wait, they never did a remake on this, have they?
So there is, you could almost say that this is a remake, I guess. I've never seen, there's an old 1970s Iron Monkey movie starring Quan Tai Chen that I've never seen. And then
Okay.
this is the one that everyone knows about. I don't know if it's an exact remake of that one, but this is the one that everyone knows.
Okay. Yeah, it just seemed interesting. It seemed like something that may be a little lighthearted too. So I was just kind of like, let me have something fun, and I wanted to have fun with it since you match movies to see what you could match with that.
Yeah, yeah.
So and by the way, good match.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
I'm curious, did you watch the US release of this? Did you watch the one that was like presented by like Miramax?
No,
No, which one you watched, like the actual like Hong Kong cut?
actual Hong Kong one. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. That's what I got like sitting right here behind me. I was like, wonder which one.
There
you
we
watched.
go. Where is that from, by the way? What studio?
That is Eureka. So that is
Oh, well, that's
that is
nice.
a fully a what am I thinking of? A region B release. So you have to watch it on a region free player.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had a region. You have to have a region free player, I'm sure.
Every now and again they put some movies out, like if you wait like a year they'll put out like a region A copy, but most of us kung fu fans are like, we're not waiting, we'll just buy a region free player
There you go.
and then
It's
pay
worth it.
like $45 and then plus shipping for it to get over here.
I know it's
So
expensive.
what is your experience with Donnie Yen or Yuen Wu Ping?
Man, surprisingly, not too much, man. Obviously, I feel like with Donnie Yen, I've seen like the Ip Man, stuff like that. What's one called is it Kill Shot or Kill Zone? Kill Zone?
Killzone, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's amazing.
Killzone, seen that a while back, but man, it's crazy because like everything for him has been like more modern. Obviously, like the John Wick 4 stuff, but seeing him in Rogue One, but it's like, man, I really want to go back and watch, but because I feel like It Man is like what got us like Americans.
Broke pretty mainstream, like maybe like just on the cusp of mainstream. It got really close.
Yeah, but I want to go back and look at like Flashpoint and some of that stuff. But I mean, I really appreciate his style though, man, and what he does. There's just something about him with I mean, didn't he kind of in a way popularize MMA too?
He was one of the first people to. I mean, you could even go back to Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee threw in some locks and everything in his movies, but he was kind of probably thinking about it. Maybe the first one to truly like try to incorporate like mixed martial arts into his fight scenes. Of course, you have like he gets freaking Sammo Hung in a rear naked choke in Killzone.
Yeah.
All that final fight of Flashpoint is MMA. Pretty much everything he does in Flashpoint is MMA.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Special ID, Big Brother, a lot of stuff. He's kind of the one who's done it the most successfully. There's a few movies. It's hard to make MMA look good on screen because it's kind of minimalist movement.
Yeah.
especially when you start getting into jujitsu. Like there's a few good movies. There's a Colombian film called Redeemer that does really good,
Okay.
but a handful of movies I've tried to do MMA on screen and it does not work. Even MMA movies. I love Warrior. I don't think the fights are the best part of Warrior.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. And it's almost like he reinvented the genre again with Ip Man. Like he didn't just star in the film, he was reshaping the
There was
real
like a
life
bit of a
person.
rejuvenation with it, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously it made it into like a global thing, but it's just, dude, it's amazing how fast he is.
Mhm.
Like, didn't the like cameramen have to like do some special work to make sure they kept up with him?
Yeah, I mean, there's stories like that with everybody. There's the stories of Bruce Lee where on Green Hornet they had to like slow down or speed up stuff to capture him moving, ask him
Yeah.
to slow down. I think you kind of get that story with everybody, but Donnie Yen is extremely fast. I've seen a lot of people reacting to him and being like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, honestly, he looks like he's one of the fastest on screen. Like, I mean, you
Yeah.
have somebody that kind of is over him.
I mean, no, he's gonna be up there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably like some Japanese person I can't think of that's probably pretty good, but I mean, of course, with this movie there is a lot of the undercranking and stuff where they do speed up like his like shadow kick,
Oh
or
yeah,
like the
yeah,
shadowless kick, no shadow
yeah.
kick.
Yeah.
This movie was also directed by, co-choreographed and everything by Yuen Wu Ping. Do you have any experience with Yuen Wu Ping? Of course, you've seen Matrix, you've seen Kill Bill.
Just the
Is that kind of the
basics.
major of it?
The basics, the majors. That's why after seeing this, I want to go back now. I want to go back because like I was once again, I have to keep going back to Donnie. Like just the way he was able to and from other stuff I've seen, like the real grappling, the joint locks, the clinch fighting, the ground and
Mm.
pound. Like he has a lot of stuff between the MMA era into Hong Kong that just wasn't being done at all.
Yeah, no, no, no.
It's just it's crazy. And I feel like when I go back and watch Flashpoint, I'll be able to see how years ahead they were with that
Mm.
with Hollywood. So that's why I want to see Flashpoint.
So, with any experience you had with Donnie and then the little bit of Yuen Wu Ping, what were you expecting going into Iron Monkey?
Oh man, I was expecting it to be pretty fast paced. Um, Kind of funny too, kind of lighthearted. That's why I picked it. And it
I
checked the
forgot how
box.
much comedy was in this one,
Yeah, I was
especially with Donnie.
I knew it was like an action comedy, but I kind of was I was surprised like how funny it actually was. Like, it was funny. Like I was laughing. It has a good mix of that and it just was just there's no dull moments for me in here. Like I really
Right. No, like Donnie Yen. I always remember in this one being more straight, more like just like very still with everything.
hmm
Especially because the character he's playing, Wong Fei Hung, who's the kid in this one. Wong Fei Hung is the more popular character. They are like Wong Kei Ying and Wong Fei Hung were real life people. Wong Fei Hung is the character who is the folk hero. Wong Fei Hung, there's been
yeah.
over 100 movies based on Wong Fei Hung. So this one sort of takes the alternate approach of let's do Wong Fei Hung's father, Wong Kei Ying.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he's the more serious character. But then like whenever you get him hanging out with Miss Orchid and the doctor there, and he's like
hmm
he's eating the spicy food, he's drinking like the water, and yeah, I'm like, oh, Donnie Yen actually does some comedy in this. I forgot all about that.
Now I wanted to ask you, the kid in the movie, I mean, is he playing and does he have some good roles?
So funny you bring that up and say he, because despite being a 10-year-old boy in the movie, Wong Fei Hung in this is played by a little girl.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. And there's some weird I've heard some like conflicting stories on how that happened. But no, they were mostly like a wushu kid. Like they grew up doing kung fu and learning forms and all that stuff. I'm not sure on like their filmography. I did watch an interview with them,
Mm,
and I didn't completely, when they're an adults and everything, I
dang.
didn't recognize them from anything that I would have
Okay.
seen.
Okay.
They were, yeah, they were just a kid at a big kung fu school, and they all these movie studios and directors and fight choreographers for fight choreographers and everything, they would just go to these kung fu schools to scout kids and be like, oh, I need a kid for a movie, who do you got? And,
hmm
they'd see some kid who can fight and they're like, all right, that one. And from what I
Wow.
heard, it's just I heard Donnie Yen say, and this is a conflicting story. Donnie Yen said they wanted to get a little girl and make them a boy so that because they thought a little girl would be better at portraying the gentleness of
Oh,
the
I can see that.
character as a child.
I can see that.
But according to the little girl, whose name on here was Shiman Sang, I'm sure I'm messing up their name, they just said that they just were, they were just at the school with all the other kids, and that Yuen Wu Ping was like, that one's really good, and that this the teacher was like, oh well, that's a little girl, and Yuen Wu Ping was like, that's fine.
That's what's up. Dang, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know, man. I thought that was a
And
little boy this
most
whole
people
time.
didn't. Most people probably didn't until like the movie came out in America and they could do like all the interviews and everything.
Yeah, dang, that's crazy. Yeah, man, it's really good, man. It just you can just tell like it's even it's bigger than just being a good martial arts movie. It's just a reminder of when Hong Kong cinema was just far ahead of its time. Like you
Mm-hmm.
could just tell they were just further along in the curve with than Hollywood, and it's
Yeah,
like this
and
movie has a huh?
I've always thought that with all martial arts cinema from all around the world. Like even I didn't grow up watching a lot of American action movies. I've owned like my favorite example of this. I've only seen Mission Impossible Fallout. I've not seen any other Mission Impossible movies.
I remember you said that. Well, you started at a great point.
And I love Fallout. Fallout's great.
Yeah.
And I do want to go back and watch the other ones at some point. But growing up, as those Mission Impossible movies were coming out, they just didn't look very interesting. That and like other American action movies where it was just all gunplay. It was gunplay that wasn't choreographed very well because it would be like you're going to get one shot of the fire and then it's going to cut to another shot of the guy reacting. I'm like, no, show me that. Even as a teenager, as a kid, I was like, show me that spacing. Show me the geography. What's going on?
Yeah.
And you'd go to the fight scenes, and especially during the late 2000s, early teens, the popular thing was the Bourne style. So it was shaky
Oh,
cam and all this
yep.
stuff. You couldn't see anything.
Yep.
Fight scene meant chaos. And I'm like, fight scene doesn't mean chaos. Fight scene means beauty. It can be gritty, but it's going to be beautiful.
That's
And
what
that
makes
we
martial
can
arts
get into,
stand out, though.
in the next one.
Yeah.
But so like it doesn't matter if it was coming from Thailand because Thailand was popping off in the 2000s. South Korea's been popping off for 25 years. Hong Kong's been doing it since the 60s, 70s. There's stuff going on all over the world that I was like, why are these action movies everywhere else better than what we're doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, tell me, okay, so you mentioned the shaky camera. Well, how did you feel about Monkey Man?
Oh yeah, Monkey Man. It's I don't like it. I was gonna try to think of something else to say. I don't like it. I haven't liked it since I saw it in theaters, and I liked the message of it. I liked some of the characters. There are one or two unique fight scenes, but at one point there's a car chase, and it was so poorly edited and everything that it gave me a headache. And it's not like I'm exaggerating and saying like, oh, I don't like this, I can't see anything, I have a headache. No, I turned to my wife and said, I have a headache.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because it
no,
was
it's
just
like
so
no,
poorly
seriously.
done.
Like it's that was my biggest gripe with the movie. I thought the messaging was fine, everything was cool. It was a production hell, obviously, but
Yeah.
it
And I
was too
like the dude
much.
who like choreographed it. The guy who choreographed it is a guy named Brahim Chab. He's done some great stuff in Thailand and other places. And I even interviewed him leading up to the movie, so I was very, very excited. I don't think I put out a review on that on YouTube at the time because I was like, if I get an opportunity like interviewing somebody who was involved with the movie and I didn't like the movie, I just usually just won't review it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm
There
like,
you
I
go.
got to interview this fight choreographer. He was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I didn't like the movie. It's fine.
Yeah. I think that's smart. It's better than just making up something,
Yeah.
being dishonest. Yeah, I like that. But yeah,
Anything.
as far as Iron Monkey, man, there's a certain confidence and creativity here that just it's weird to say, almost feels supernatural. It's just like it's playful, it's political. The choreography is great, it's beautiful. And it just has that classic Hong Kong blend of humor, heart, and it's like this ballet level a fight that's
Well,
just
it's something in it, I guess, that feels
crazy.
creatively pure. It doesn't feel super made by committee. It
Yeah.
feels like a bunch of guys who got together and made something because that's what it is. I mean, it was sort of a spin-off of Once Upon a Time in China, and I almost gave you Once Upon a Time in China to pair this up with.
I want to see that.
But I decided against it because it's such a popular movie that I was
It
like, someone's
is.
going to pick that movie at some point.
Yeah.
But the Once Upon a Time in China movies are about Wong Fei Hung, played by Jet Li, at least in 1 through 3. So they are about Wong Fei Hung, and then you have this one, which goes and gives us child Wong Fei Hung and gives us his father. But those ones, the Once Upon a Time in China movies, are directed by Chui Hark, and then he is a co-writer and an executive producer on this one.
Oh.
Yuen Wu Ping was the fight choreographer on the Once Upon a Time in China movies, and he just went ahead and directed this one.
Oh.
So that's what makes it almost like somewhat of like a spin-off prequel kind of vibe.
I didn't realize that. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's why again, like it arguably it was the perfect movie to pair with this one, but I just thought like that movie is popular enough and big enough that at some point somebody will just choose that movie. So
I mean, I would
I
have
put that one on
I would
hold.
have chosen it. I just
It's a great movie.
yeah.
But Yuen Wu Ping directing, it has like 4 writers, whatever. But once you actually get down to the filmmaking of it, like all the fight scenes and everything, the grace of kung fu cinema, at least at this time, is you just have a bunch of people who know what they're doing all together.
Yeah.
When your performers are also fight choreographers, then the craftsmanship is so much better. It's what makes the Raid movies so good. All those guys you see on screen are also the fight choreographers. They
Yeah.
know where to put a camera. They know everything. They know spacing, all that stuff. So, you see it even with the kid, because the way they did the kids' fight scenes is they just said, "Hey, what can you do?"
Yeah.
And then once they know what that kid can do, then they can craft the fight scene around what that kid can do. So because everyone on screen is an amazing martial artist and a fight choreographer, they're like, "Here's what I can do. Let's play."
That's dope. That's
So
dope.
it's a beautiful assembly of collaborations and artists painting a picture together.
I wanted to say something about the guy, can you tell me how to pronounce his name, who actually plays Iron Monkey? Very popular.
Yeah, Rong Guang Yu.
Okay. So him and Donnie Yen, they put on a clinic, bro. It's crazy.
Their chemistry was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, it is I like Iron Monkey because it's just like this smooth, stoic folk hero who's almost like Bruce Wayne with a medical degree.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And just the chemistry between those two characters and like the fights look like conversations made out of their fists, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's the movement is
There's
clean. You can
from the
practically
moment they start throwing,
yeah.
from the moment they start kicking and punching and everything, there's
Yeah.
already a mutual respect.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You
Yeah.
could tell. And it's just like the movement is clean and you can just feel it. Like it's yeah, the choreography is just straight up art, man. I really think it. The director Wu Ping, like he was just cooking on another level of art here. And the choreography, every kick matters, every wire stunt just feels purposeful.
Yeah.
Every strike is telling some kind of story. Obviously, I appreciate no CGI, no shaky cam. I appreciate the athleticism because it takes a lot. Even the women in here, like Miss
The Lady
Orchid,
Orchid
stuff
and
like
even
that.
like
Like it's just like,
the evil lady with the giant birthmark on her face.
yeah, yeah. Dang, like everybody's bringing it. There's an umbrella fight.
That's like the signature weapon of Wong Fei Hung. Yeah, so they
Really?
had to
Okay.
even if Wong Fei Hung was going to be a kid, they still had to include an umbrella.
Man, that was dope, man. The rooftop battles. Obviously, like the final showdown, the burning poles. It feels like,
Balancing on the poles.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that was dope. It's just, man.
Did anything in this like catch you off guard?
Mm, I wouldn't say off guard. I think that I wouldn't say there was anything that just like caught me off guard, but like I just didn't expect it to be. Well, I was gonna say the blood. There's blood in here.
Oh yeah,
That
no,
caught
like
me off guard.
at the one point, like someone uses like those like steel balls or something,
Yeah,
and it's like someone has a sword, and it's like a steel ball's coming at them, and the ball goes like through the sword and
yeah,
into their eye.
yeah.
And
I
yeah,
was,
that's pretty brutal.
I thought it was like a little bit more violent than I thought it would be for PG-13. Like, because I don't know, like it's PG-13, it's family friendly, but it's like there you go there with the action.
Yeah, just a little bit. And when no one gets decapitated or nothing, but
No,
you know,
nothing like
there's a little
that,
bit
but
of
it's
blood.
like it's still like there's still blood, stuff like that. It's like, dang, okay.
Yeah,
So,
one thing that took me off guard and I made a note of is the Miss Orchid character, who she's the woman who runs around with Iron Monkey and like is like his assistant in the little
oh,
pharmacy they run. I forgot how like tragic her backstory was,
oh yeah.
because we get a flashback of Iron Monkey taking her in, and it's like, you know, he's a doctor and all that, and he's treating her, and she had just come out of a miscarriage,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
so she lost her baby.
Yeah.
But it turns out that she works at a brothel. She's, you know, she's
Man, that was yeah.
that. She's
Yeah.
I guess a prostitute at the time.
Yeah.
And so then her like the dudes who run the brothel come into the shop and say, "All right, baby's gone, get back to work." And Iron Monkey's like, he just gives them money and is like, "No, she's done. I'm buying her essentially from you
Yeah.
because she deserves better than this."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dang, she had a tragic backstory."
Oh,
and I
for
think
sure.
that's why she takes to Wong Fei Hung so well, because when she meets child Wong Fei Hung, she's like, she takes care of him, and you know, he starts training with Iron Monkey, and she even asked him like, "Have you had any other students?" And he's like, "No, just you. He's pretty much your junior now."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
she
No,
takes
it's
to him because it's like, oh, it's that kid I lost.
no, that's powerful how that's connected. That was dark, by the way. There was one scene that also surprised me too, is these monks that come in and they're trying to harass
Yeah,
her.
like
It's like,
the
dang.
disgraced monks.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what kind of monks are these?
So they have a fight scene with Miss Orchid here that I started something last episode called Kung Fu Fun Fact. So this fight scene here with Miss Orchid runs into my Kung Fu Fun Fact. So I'm gonna hit you with a Kung Fu Fun Fact, which I guess isn't necessarily about this movie directly. After the success of The Matrix in Hollywood, which The Matrix was choreographed by Yuen Wu-ping, and they train all the actors for like 6 months ahead of time so that they can perform all the fight scenes themselves for the most part. So at that point, Hollywood is now like obsessed with wire work and kung fu fight scenes, because The Matrix, you know, it's Hollywood. They're chasing trends. If The Matrix was successful, now every movie has to be wire work and kung fu, even if they're not going to put in the work to make them good. So one of those movies that copied, you know, the Matrix with the wire work and everything was Charlie's Angels, starring Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, and
I
Drew
remember.
Barrymore.
Yeah.
Yes. Directed by Mick G. So Yuen Wu-ping's brother was sort of a consultant on Charlie's Angels. And apparently, according to Yuen Wu-ping's brother, they would just go through... somebody just said, like... Oh, never mind, it's fine. It was saying something weird about my audio. So McGee was just going through kung fu movies and like skimming through them to find stuff that he liked. And you know, he would use that in his movie. One of those movies that he picked stuff from was Iron Monkey. So the choreography, like there's moments in the choreography of Charlie's Angels where they just lifted it directly from
Wow.
Iron Monkey.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's weird. I as soon as I saw it, I didn't notice it while watching Iron Monkey, but I watched the interview with Yuen Wu-ping's brother. And as he's saying this, they cut to a moment within the fight scene in Iron Monkey, which is between Miss Orchid and the monks. And as soon as I haven't seen Charlie's Angels in 20 years, but I watched it a lot when I was a kid because it was there. We had it on DVD. So something about it, I guess, was just in the deep recesses of my brain. But as Yuen Wu-ping's brother is saying, yeah, he used choreography from Iron Monkey, and you see it again in Charlie's Angels. They then cut to the fight scene with Miss Orchid, and she does the moves and instantly I see Drew Barrymore doing it, and I'm like, oh my god, it's right there.
Now I gotta see.
Drew Barrymore does the same
It's been a
choreography.
while too. I gotta see.
It was like somewhere deep in the recesses of my brain where as soon as I saw Miss Orchid do it, I'm like, Drew Barrymore's doing it. I just saw it. It was right there.
For some reason,
So yeah, there's
I remember the club scene more than I should over the fight scenes in that damn Charlie's
that's fine.
Angels. But yeah, that's I
So
gotta
yeah,
check that out. That's what's
the
up.
choreography from this was used in Charlie's
That's
Angels,
what's
and I'm
up.
sure maybe at some point in other movies. So there is a bit of a kung fu fun fact.
I also like that there's some slapstick villains in here. I like one of them. I
Yeah,
can't think of his name at the moment.
the cops are pretty much all slapstick villains.
Yeah, but there's one guy in particular that was pretty funny, man. And obviously just like the setup of the mayor and stuff like that. It's there's a lot of political things going on, but then you got some slapstick villains, and then you got these fights that just are jaw dropping. Um, it's but to me, like I think thematically, it's a movie about corrupt systems, stolen wealth,
Mm.
a masked vigilante giving justice to the people.
Right, and it's I just now thinking about a weird connection I
Yeah.
have. So one of my favorite scenes in this, weirdly enough, was after Donnie Yen's first fight with Iron
Hmm.
Monkey, and then he's assigned by the government to take down Iron
Hmm.
Monkey. He then is like walking the streets, and everywhere he goes for food, people say, "No, you fought Iron Monkey. We love Iron
Yeah.
Monkey. Like we're not suing
Yep.
you." So like this dude who is labeled a criminal and is committing crimes for the good of the people, this guy who is labeled a criminal by the government and the people adore him. We even see a lot of stuff like that today. Weirdly enough, the one that comes to mind is Luigi
Hmm. Hmm.
Mangione.
Hmm. Hmm.
We all know what he
Yep.
did, but all over the internet people were like, good for him.
Yeah. 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 No, facts. Seriously.
So it's like it's a much greater degree of the crime, but it's crazy how just this stupid little fantasy action comedy from Hong Kong, and we still see an example of something like that happening in the world
Oh, for
today.
sure. For sure. No, that's a good mention, man. Yeah, that's yeah, thematically it's strong, man. It's got roots of the hero to the poor, but it's
Mm,
done with a certain swagger that just works. Like I said, the Chinese
yeah.
folklore wrapped in this stylized action. And I mean, let's just be honest, man. Hollywood wouldn't they ain't know how to tell stories like that, man. Early 90s. Not like that. Not with that kind of fight choreography. That's why I think like
No,
Hong
no,
Kong was
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
carrying the entire action genre on their back. And just like this
Mm.
movie is just a
So
receipt of that. Like clearly.
weirdly enough, and I mean, there's action movies that soar in other ways in Hollywood. I recently, yeah, of course, at this time you have Terminator 2, which is great, but it's a very different kind of movie.
Yeah.
I recently watched Point Break, solid, not the same kind of movie,
That's
but
yeah. Classic.
this movie, weirdly enough, flopped at the box office in Hong Kong in 1993, and I would go so far as to blame Hollywood for that because like 2 months before this movie comes out in Hong Kong,
Hmm.
a Hollywood movie makes its Hong Kong debut, and that movie is Jurassic Park.
Oh, snap. Oh, jeez.
So there is a decline in the Hong Kong film industry in the 90s,
Hmm.
and it mostly comes down to people were seeing what was going on in Hollywood in terms of special
Wow.
effects, and the people wanted that, and Hong Kong didn't have the money or resources to do that.
Yeah, white man coming in
And
messing up
so
stuff again. See?
I mean, yeah, and Jurassic Park's
Not
great,
playing.
but I fully believe that audiences saw Jurassic Park, and then a few months later
Groundbreaking.
when Iron Monkey is coming out, everyone's like, "Eh,
I,
we saw dinosaurs."
I mean that's groundbreaking. That's tough, man. What's crazy
Yeah,
about that is it like, and you let me know. I feel like this is one of Donnie Yen's most important like pre-fame movies.
I think so. I used to not respect it very much or not hold it in such high regard until a few years ago. I used to do, and I should bring it back. I did a series on my YouTube channel called Kung Fu Essential,
Hmm.
where I would go through someone's entire career and pick 5 movies from the start of their career to the end of their career that are like essential for a new person getting into Kung Fu cinema, to be like, hey, if you want to get like a summary of this person, watch these 5 movies throughout their career.
Yeah.
So when I did the Donnie Yen episode, I was like maybe thinking Iron Monkey. I was thinking maybe some earlier stuff. But once I watched Iron Monkey, I was like, oh no, it's Iron Monkey. You got to put Iron Monkey on there.
Yeah, I feel like it probably hits different when you're older now though, too. Like,
Yeah. As a kid, I was not super into a lot of wire work and like a lot of the super sped up stuff they do in this. But like now watching it, I'm like, oh, it's great. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
And just and just what's happening like thematically, it's good. Like and
Yeah.
it's weird because it's like, man, that sucks to hear, man, because it feels like Iron Monkey's like Donnie is like you could tell he's right on the edge of this breakthrough of stardom. Like he's young, hungry,
Mm.
disciplined, obviously way more skilled than mostly everybody. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, and it hits hard today. Like I told you, like the pacing is fast. The fights, they obviously age well. I like them. I
Mm.
think they still look great. The themes are pretty universal for the most part, where everybody can feel it, and it just has heart. Like it's funny. Like there's heart to it though. It's not like, man, this is stupid. Like even if somebody's not even into martial arts films, like I would
Mm.
recommend like go here because it's kind of
Yeah.
like what you're used to seeing. Because everybody's seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I feel like you kind
Right.
of need like that wire work intro thing to kind of get you going.
Mm. It's a good wire work intro. There's some movies you can watch that it's like don't watch that. If you're new into kung fu, there are movies that I will steer people away from.
Hmm.
But the notable one I've talked about many times is when I was a kid, probably like 12 years old, and I watched another Donnie Yen movie with Michelle Yeoh,
Mm.
called Butterfly and Sword.
Oh, I want to see that.
It is wuxia as hell. It is insane wire work. It is bonkers kung fu fantasy that at 12 years old I was not ready for. So at 12, and I haven't even gone back and watched it, but at 12 years old I was like, I hate this.
Well,
And it wasn't until
why do you say you weren't
it
ready
wasn't
for it
until
though? What was
it was just so there's some, you ever just watch a movie and say that was a lot.
yeah.
That was a lot. Sometimes you just watch something and you're like, there was far too much going on. It's jumping. It's a deep end. I was a pretty decent swimmer in the kung fu
Yeah.
genre, in the martial art genre, but I was not quite ready for the deep end. And in my opinion, Butterfly and Sword is well into the deep end, and I was not ready for the depths.
I hear. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got you. I got you. It
Yeah,
sounds like I probably need to wait on it then and work
it's
through some more
bonkers as
stuff.
fuck. It's crazy. Like one example of something that happens that I was like, okay, we can just do that in movies, was like Donnie Yen or somebody with their sword was flying towards
Ah,
somebody, and he flies through them, like through their
yeah.
torso. And of course, it's like a dummy. And as he's connecting with the dummy, they're pulling the dummy apart. And it's not violent, it's not gory,
Yeah.
but it happens. And as like a 12-year-old, I was like, I'm sorry, that was just a thing we're doing now. It's a movie that's a lot.
There's one scene where Iron Monkey is going straight for the kid because he hits him with I don't know if it was a slingshot or
The
something.
slingshot,
And
yeah,
he I actually was laughing because he's like going straight for him. He's like, wait, it's a young boy? What? Young kid? It's like
yeah, and they turn
he like
around.
stops. I was like,
There's a great line that made me laugh when Miss Orchid is fighting the monks, where because they just go in expecting it to be like they're just going to the doctors, like they're just doctors. They don't know that Miss Orchid and the guy are Iron Monkey and
yep.
whatever. So they go in and Miss Orchid starts fighting back and she's beating them. And you hear one of the monks say, she knows kung fu. This place is weird. There's something off about this
Yeah.
place. And I'm like, because she knows kung fu. Okay.
Like, because it's a
Before we
woman
jump
fighting.
into the next one, do you have any final thoughts on Iron Monkey?
Final thoughts for the people that's listening. It's just, I feel like it's one of those rare ones, man. It reminds you why Hong Kong cinema is their gold standard. It's fun, it's meaningful. From a technical standpoint, pretty damn flawless, honestly, from what
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at. So I say you can't watch something like this and walk away and like not have a deeper respect for Donnie Yen, Wu Ping, and the entire cast and tradition of what they represent watching this
Mm-hmm.
movie. So that's my final thoughts on it.
It is an incredible movie, and with that, we will go ahead and jump into our next movie, the 1990 film from D&B Productions, also directed by Yuen Wu Ping, Tiger Cage 2.
Hmm.
My tiger kung fu is better than yours.
Tiger Cage 2 is directed by Yuen Wu Ping again, also starring Donnie Yen, Rosamund Kwan, David Wu, Robin Shu, Cynthia Khan, Michael Woods, and John Salviti. Tiger Cage 2 follows a divorce attorney and an ex-cop who are framed for murder when a money laundering scheme goes awry. The two must team up with one of the criminals to bring down the villain and clear their names. I chose this because it is, so just like Iron Monkey, it is directed by Yuen Wu Ping and stars Donnie Yen. It is 3 years earlier than Iron Monkey. But I felt it was a good thing to pair with Iron Monkey because it is, despite being the same director and the same star, it is so different. It's a modern day setting. It's modern day. It's 80s Hong Kong. You know, it's a crime story movie. It's like modern action for the time.
Yeah.
Whereas, you go to a period setting with old school kung fu and wire work. This is grounded punches and kicks action.
Yeah.
So despite being same director, same star, totally different movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think this was a great pairing that you did. And once again, like it starts off different because they're like guns are coming out in the beginning and they're shooting and stuff like that. Clearly, I could tell from the beginning I'm getting an R-rated movie, but if it's not R-rated, then well, I'd be surprised. I'm sure you could tell me it is, but yeah, unmistakably Hong Kong Golden Age choreography though. Like it's like
Yeah.
so I need to now this is making me curious to go back and watch because isn't there one called In the Line of Duty or something or
So that was the other option I considered. Of course, I brought up how my initial thought was Once Upon a Time in China.
yeah.
But once I was like, no, I want to do something that feels completely different. In the Line of Duty 4, I believe, was also directed by Yuen Wu Ping. I might be wrong on that. And stars Donnie Yen. And I think when you talk to most people about like what's their favorite early Donnie Yen movie, the two they may go back and forth with are In the Line of Duty 4 and Tiger Cage 2.
That's what I was, yeah, because I felt like, because I know it's a series. Obviously, the first, I feel like people say different things. I know some people like the first one a lot because it's the first one. But I think this one is a lot of people's favorites, though. Tiger Cage 2.
This one's up there.
Yeah, this was.
And then the In the Line of Duty series, it's a completely different series. And just like you asked with this, when I told you Tiger Cage 2, you asked, should I watch the first one? And I just said they're not related.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with In the Line of Duty, where I think there's even 5 of them, but they're not related in any way. Like the first In the Line of Duty film is, it's either, which one I got back here? Where are you at?
Got back there. What you got back there?
The first one is Royal Warriors, which is Michelle Yeoh and Hiroyuki Sanada.
Ooh, legends.
And then the second one is Yes, Madam, which is Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia
Hmm.
Rothrock, not related to the first
Oh,
movie. And then like the third one is just like I think Cynthia Khan, and then the fourth one is Cynthia Khan and Donnie Yen. So like it's just they'll do these series that are really not related
does that
whatsoever.
happen quite a bit in martial arts?
I think it still happens today. The big one this generation is Killzone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Killzone in China is Shapo Long SPL.
Yeah.
So there's SPL 1, which is the Donnie Yen
Yeah.
one. There's SPL 2, which is Wu Jing and Tony Jaa, which is it's an okay movie. I don't love it. And then I think the third one is a movie called Paradox.
Okay.
And none of them are related. They have nothing. I think the connection with them is people say it's more a it's a thematic series because they usually have something to do with a father who is a cop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Where it's not an actually connected story, but it's like connected themes.
I saw some people, I don't know. I saw somebody try to tie this movie specifically in the Police Story 1 and just say it's not as good. I was like, I don't see that. Like, whatever.
Very, very different
Yeah.
movies.
But yeah, well, first of all, I wasn't ready for this. You ain't tell me my boy
No?
Luke Kane was in this movie.
Right? People don't know that. People don't know that he was like a Hong Kong guy and he played a lot of bad
I
guys.
was like, dang, he's really good at this too. I'm like, dang, this
He's
role
great.
is
He's a great villain.
really cool villain. Really cool. I just wasn't expecting that. But yeah, it makes sense why you'd recommend this one too. It just both of them are blending comedy with serious, high impact fighting. I feel like, as we talked about with Iron Monkey, it's mixing folk hero, humor, superhero style justice. Tiger 2 is like comedic beats through character banner and escalating chaos. Like, and it's
Yeah.
a crime thriller in a way. So I like the kind of, I don't know if you want to call it love triangle, but both of the guys really like the girl. I like that dynamic of it too. I think both films just know how they understand how to balance the tone very well.
I think the romance angle is hilarious to
It
me
is.
because of course we see at the beginning that Donnie Yen is the reason he knows the divorce lawyer is because she like arranged his divorce from his wife.
Hmm.
But also at the beginning and a little bit later we even see her fiance.
Yeah.
But once like all the plot starts going and she becomes like wanted for murder, the fiance is like a non-factor. We never see him again. We never hear from him
Yeah.
again. Any possible budding romance between any of our characters completely ignores the fact that she's
Thought
engaged.
about
She
that
never
too.
brings it up. Like that character does not exist from about 25 minutes in.
Yeah, I was gonna say his fiance doesn't exist either. No, nobody's fiance exists.
No.
Nobody's significant other. They're just gone.
So coming from Iron Monkey going into Tiger Cage 2, what were some expectations set from, I guess, if you watched Iron Monkey first, what were the expectations set from Iron Monkey going into Tiger Cage 2?
So Tiger Cage 2, I guess I got about kind of what I was thinking. I just didn't exactly know what I was because I went into it blind. But I was thinking, okay, if it's 1990, it is 90, right? Was it 1990?
Yeah, it's 90, yeah. I said 80 earlier, but it's
Yeah,
90.
I mean, it just from the beginning, I already liked it. I liked the music. I liked that it's 1990. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna get something a little bit more violent, a little bit more serious. But as like I do see it says comedy on here too, so I'm curious to see how they do it. But it just,
Where'd you watch this one on?
man, what was this on? I got it on Prime or yeah, those.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And yeah, I mean, it's just once again, you're operating on a completely different wavelength from what you get from Hollywood action movies. And
Yeah.
the action was hitting. Like I say that in the purest sense. I feel like it's raw, it's fast, it's unrestrained. Donnie Yen is moving like the speed is insane. The
Yeah.
kicks are sharp. There's funny moments where he's obviously handcuffed to her and like fighting somebody on the street. And I'm not gonna lie, I was
That's a fun
surprised. I'm
moment, yeah.
like, there's stuff like, and also it's 1990, and you try to see like some of the comedy you can't get away with as much because yeah, I mean, people act different now. Like when the women are getting punched or kicked or something like that, a certain way. Because there's one scene in particular where he like hits her in the face. which is funny. But you know, like today they wouldn't do it, right? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. They,
I don't. Probably not so much. So they wouldn't do a lot of stuff like this these days. Like I guess the violence towards women maybe.
yeah,
But yeah. And one thing I remember, like every character in this movie at some point gets knocked out, and I'm like, everybody in
everybody.
this movie has a
Yeah.
concussion. Like Donnie Yen gets knocked out twice. David Wu gets knocked out once. Even Robin Shu gets knocked out in the elevator one time. Like everybody in this movie is getting KO'd, and I'm like, everybody here has a concussion.
But also, like when I'm looking at those scenes too, like even when you're looking at the chases and stuff like that, and people, there's obviously a double decker bus and stuff like that, and you got people flying off that. I think about like the behind the scenes of that stuff. Like you're like putting your body on the line, man. That's a lot.
Oh yeah, no, that's old school Hong Kong action. Is you put your body on the line. I mean, there's you could maybe wear a little bit of
Yeah,
padding, but like that stunt where the guy goes from the top of the double decker bus into the windshield of
yeah.
a taxi, both vehicles are moving consecutively at the same time in the same direction. Like anything can go wrong there. Like yeah, that dude's landing was softened by the break of the windshield, but he still took a fall off a double decker bus onto a taxi.
It's
Like
that
yeah,
stuff I
100%.
appreciate, man. I appreciate that stuff. It's just, yeah, I mean, and these guys are doing it and they don't know what the movie's going to be, but it's getting done and it's getting made. Uh,
Yeah, and I think I brought it up last episode with Derek from Simi Views,
mhm.
but there's a fantastic documentary called Kung Fu
Hmm.
Stuntman that it's just it's the trials and tribulations of being a Hong Kong stuntman in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it's all brutality. It's you're going to get hurt, you're going to go to the hospital, you're going to get paid.
Man.
Maybe not as much as some movies. Some movies going to pay more than
I mean,
others, but
what's the famous one, man, where Jackie Chan is falling from the building
the tower,
in that, which one?
the Project
Project A,
A.
exactly. A banger, by the way. But that one, I mean, how long was he out? And he,
I mean, even before he did that, so like there's the claim of Jackie Chan doing all his own stunts, which is 40% true. There's plenty of times I've gotten, and I think most kung fu fans have enough of a trained eye that you can see the stunt doubles sometimes, but for some stunts, Jackie would want to know that it's safe before he did it. The best way for Jackie to know that it's safe is to make somebody else do it first. So before Jackie falls off the tower, he has his buddy Mars fall off the tower.
yeah.
And once Mars is able to walk up and stand up and walk away, then Jackie Chan is like, okay, I can do it.
I mean, smart. That's smart.
So yeah, there may be a stunt where it's like, oh wow, he did that stunt. I'm like, yeah, he did, but he also had his buddy do it first.
That's the part they don't talk about, huh?
They don't talk about that part.
I
They
mean,
don't. They don't talk about most of
but
his
that,
stunts.
but that, that makes
Um,
that makes sense though.
yeah. Rosamund Kwan in this, she's the female lead of the movie. I normally adore her. She is one of the main characters in the Once Upon a Time in China
Hmm.
films. She's arguably my favorite character in the Once Upon a Time in China films.
Hmm.
I've watched all six of those, and I think she dips out at four. She's not in four, and she's probably not even in. No, yeah, she's just not in four. And I remember when she wasn't in four, and I remember thinking like something's missing. This movie's just like it's not as good for many reasons, but it's just kind of blood. It's kind of dull.
Mm.
And then she showed back up in five, and I was like, oh, that's what four was missing. Rosamund Kwan wasn't here. So like normally I love her very much. I found her very annoying in this movie.
Really?
I think what it is they set her up at the beginning like she's drinking like orange juice or something, and she's wearing a dress, and her dress part of it's on the table. She sets the orange juice on the table, stands up, and it knocks over her drink, whatever. So they set her up at the beginning by saying, "Oh, she's clumsy. She's a klutz," and eventually a lot of that clumsiness just kind of got really annoying. I think it even came down to like the scene where I was like, I'm done with you, is when she's eating the spicy ramen and then she just like spits in Donnie Yen's
Oh, you
face.
didn't like that part?
I'm like, you couldn't like turn your head or nothing. You couldn't try a little bit
I
harder.
was gonna say that's the little charm of the movie a little bit. It's
It's a little bit. I mean, like, is her clumsiness is most fun when they're handcuffed together.
yeah.
Even Donnie Yen trying to go to the bathroom and ends up peeing all over
Yeah.
himself.
There's a lot of moments. I mean, even there's a moment where he's like saying, hit him. No, get something bigger, not a stick. And then she finally grabs
Yeah,
something and she still ends up hitting him again anyways. It's just it's
the flower pot.
it's funny. I like her. It's cute. I mean, she's attractive as
There's
well.
a few. There's a like. I don't even mind like the flower pot part. I think I don't know. It mostly probably came down to that ramen scene. Like, but when the flower pot stuff is fun, the handcuff stuff is fun. But there was just like one or two parts that I was like, can you
That
stop?
ramen scene, do you know anything specifically about that scene? Because she didn't really spit in his face, right? Like, how'd they do that scene? You know how they did it?
I
Like, they had her,
I
like,
mean, as
make
far
the
as I know,
noise and make the noise
they
and
may
just
have
throw it in his
just thrown
face.
ramen in his
Yeah, that's what I'm
face,
thinking. Like,
but possibly.
because
But
you saw him just kind of, I was like, man, hell no.
I don't know. Some maybe he was just like, yeah, she's pretty. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, I like her. I like her. She was dope, man. Now I have to watch the other stuff. Once Upon a Time in China, like you were
So I
saying.
mean, she's in plenty of other movies that I can't think of, but yeah, the big ones, at least for me, are the Once Upon a Time in China
She's
films.
attractive too, so yeah, just she checked all the boxes for me as far as like what I like. I'm like, yeah, she's easy on the eyes. She can she's charming. She's funny. I like the love triangle thing going on there. So she worked for me on a lot
Yeah,
of things, obviously. But
yeah, they have some cute moments. I like when they like are like at like the just eating food like at the table in the street. Like that was a fun scene.
I even like the club where he's getting them super drunk. Oh man, it's
Yeah,
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 it's just yeah. There's some stuff, man. I didn't expect to. I won't say I didn't expect to like it this much, but dang, I liked it a lot. I really did. Like I
yeah,
really
yeah,
had a lot of fun with it. Plus I'm a '90s dude too, man. I love like action '90s.
yeah,
It's a really cool story. It's simple but effective at the same time. I think you got an everyday man caught up in a mess way bigger than him.
yeah. And that 80s early 90s Hong Kong is such like an amazing setting because like the city just looks so
Oh,
cool. The neon lights
for sure.
everywhere. Like this with like the city looked like it was made to make movies in
Oh man,
because it just looked so
it looked
cool.
awesome.
Like when I like it's almost like some like Neo Tokyo stuff from like uh Akira or
Yeah,
something. Like
no.
when I guess when if you think of like the neon lights, you'll think of Vegas, you'll think of all the
hmm
lit city of Tokyo or any of those places in Japan. But I'm like, no, like 80s Hong Kong just looked
It
cool.
really did. It really did. Really did, man. And that, once again, you have a movie that understands its pacing. It knows exactly when to breathe, when to hit you with the comedy, when to bring you into another set piece of Hong Kong and some action there. It just feels like a runaway train, and you're happy to be on board with it at the end of the day. So I was happy to be on
My
board.
despite of course Donnie Yen being Donnie Yen, weirdly enough, I think my favorite fight in this
Mhm.
movie is between Robin Shu and David, and it just comes
Oh,
down to it being like
that felt real.
it's gritty, it's
Oh,
raw,
that
it's
was
like dangerous. Like that's the like Donnie Yen he's putting enough danger in the movie, but like it feels like the most dangerous scene in the movie for one of our
yeah.
protagonists is that fight scene. And yeah, it's because he loses it in the end, but like
No, but you felt that.
they're just like beating the hell out of each other, and you feel every single hit.
Yeah. I'm
Like it just
curious,
feels
is
the
there
most raw.
anybody that got hurt with this movie? Do you know that? If there's
I mean, I'm sure that somebody jammed or broke a finger or did something on it, but no, there's not been anything that I've seen. Like most movies, you'll hear something of this stunt guy got carried away, broke a leg, or did something, but I'm not aware of any major stories coming out of this one.
I mean, it looks so doggone real, man.
I mean, I know like there's obviously a few hits that connect with some of them. A lot of them do, but like you hear like with Robin or not Robin, Colin Chow, who was Seraph
Mm-hmm.
in The Matrix Reloaded
hmm
and
hmm
Revolutions. He's the bad guy in Flashpoint with Donnie Yen. And he talks about how, like, I don't think he got injured, but he just talked about how much it hurt.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like, because he, especially because he just came off making The Matrix,
Mm-hmm.
and like the Hollywood system is so polished, and like, everything is so taken care of. But then he went back to a late stage Hong Kong to make a Hong Kong movie with Donnie Yen again, because they'd fought plenty of times before. But he's like, I just came back from doing The Matrix, and Hollywood takes care of you so well. And then I came back here, and Donnie Yen and I just beat the shit out of each other. He's like, it hurts so much. I'm in so much pain.
Man.
So I'm sure like no one probably got like injured, but I'm sure people walked out of this being like, yeah, I could take a nap for a week.
Yeah, that scene right there looks it was pretty intense. So Robin
Yeah,
Shu, I
that one's the
mean,
most brutal.
so he has a lot of experience, clearly.
Yeah. So he is, I mean, he's a wushu guy. Like he grew up learning wushu. I believe I read that he like was born in Hong Kong, but he grew up mostly in LA. Which one thing I heard from the commentary, which just sounded fun, is so Donnie Yen is, I believe, maybe from Hong Kong as well, but he spent most of his childhood in Boston.
Okay.
So there's a reason, like when you see him in movies, he speaks perfect English
Yeah.
because he speaks English.
Yeah.
David Wu, the other protagonist, also spent most of his childhood in the States. So apparently, Donnie Yen, Robin Shu, and David Wu just all enjoyed being around each other because they were all so American.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they were like, we're going to go order a pizza. We're going to go do this. Like, they just wanted to go be brothers.
That's what's up.
Because they all were American.
That's what's up. That's funny. That's cool.
But what did you think of the white dude and the black dude, John Salviti and Michael Woods?
Oh, I was just about this. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about too, man. So, John Salfidi, I'm trying to see like what else will we know him from? Because he's a friend of Donnie Yen.
So he's also in Line of Duty 4. He probably pops up in a lot of other stuff, but he has spent a lot of this like second half of his career and just doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, the ponytail man. The other guy. So who was the black dude or
Michael Woods.
Michael Woods? Is there anything he's in?
Again in Line of Duty 4.
Okay, all right.
He like helped choreograph Blade 2.
Oh,
And if you pay attention, I guess enough, at some point you should see him probably pop up as a vampire in Blade 2 and get killed.
okay, okay.
But yeah, he apparently was not the biggest fan of the movie making process. He just hated how much waiting there was to do, and at least for his first few movies. And so the reason he's here and John Salviti are here, Donnie Yen's mom is like a wushu grandmaster, like
Oh,
proper.
oh wow.
So she runs her own school out of Boston. That's why Donnie Yen grew up there. And John Salviti and Michael Woods just went to her school and became friends with Donnie Yen. So I was reading an interview with Michael Woods where when him and John Salviti and some other guys first came over, he just didn't like how they were treated pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like it depends on like how people were fed, how people were like, where they were staying, how much they were paid, and all the foreigners just clearly got less than everybody else. And Donnie Yen would stick his neck out for him and John because it's like they're his boys.
That's what's up.
And so he would be like, "Hey, you're not paying them enough. Hey, you're not doing this enough." Or like one example that Michael Woods gave was just how like they all went out to eat and everybody got steak, but like they tried to give them chicken. and it wasn't like a black thing. It was just because they didn't want to pay extra for steak.
Yeah, anyway.
But Donnie Yen was just like, "Hey, they didn't get steak."
Dang.
So it would just be stuff like that where Michael Woods was like, "I don't care for it." And I think he just didn't love making movies much in the first place because again, he was just like, there's a lot of waiting, and there's just like a lot of stuff that he was just like, meh.
Yeah. No, I really like those characters, man. They're really cool. This is kind of they don't talk too much, but their facial expressions, and I'm sitting on the couch
Yeah.
and like them kind of like, there's one scene in particular where their boss is fighting and they just kind of like, nah, let's see how it
Yeah,
goes.
I think John Savini goes to get up and help, and then Michael Woods is like, "No, let's see how this
Yeah,
plays
let's
out."
see how this plays. So I like them in it. They have a really cool style, and obviously, I mean, you're looking at Salvini with his ponytail and stuff. It's 90s, bro. Like I love the 90s, man.
Yeah.
Like if you
And
can
apparently
send me
Michael
more
Woods was just
recommendations. Like I would watch
Michael
all
Woods was just
those.
like a freak athlete apparently.
Oh yeah.
Like Michael Woods, of course, he did like the martial arts and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But like there was just things where they would just be like, "Can you do this?" And he was like, "I don't know, let me try." Yes.
That's what's up. I guess I never asked you. What's your feelings on this? Is completely random, but I want to ask you while I'm on here. Michael John White, how do you feel about him?
He has some very good movies. He has a lot, and I mean a lot, of terrible
Yeah.
movies. He is one of the best performers with the worst filmographies.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
He has a lot of movies that I do really enjoy. It's just that you never know what's going to be good because he makes a lot of stinkers.
Yeah, I mean
But it's
it's
just and like the problem with that is like the movies that movies that are good are really good. Of course, Black Dynamite is hilarious, and he like co-wrote that. He like that was like his
oh
passion
yeah.
project.
But as far as like
But
his
then
martial
like
arts ones, probably Blood and Bone is probably your favorite.
Blood and Bone is up there. My favorite is probably Never Back Down 3,
Okay, that makes sense.
which
Yeah.
I despise the Never Back Down movies for the most part. I think the first one is just butt.
Yeah.
I think the second one is one of the worst movies ever made. But then you go into Never Back Down 3, which Michael J. White also directed, and it's like, oh, this is really good. Like this is actually really, really good.
It's so what's his deal? You think like he has a lot of connections in Hollywood. He like knows a lot of people. Like why is he always in
Um,
crappy stuff?
I guess just being nice to everybody. I don't know. I think so. My issue that I even a movie that I do enjoy, like Falcon
Uh,
Rising, I think my main issue with it is, I guess maybe his ego. Maybe I don't know. I don't think his movies are compelling enough. By that I mean like his fight scenes are compelling enough. He doesn't put himself in enough danger to care.
mhm.
Because like a lot of the movies, it's just like he's just going to beat everybody
Yeah.
pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like he's going to win, and you're not really going to be scared for him whatsoever. And sometimes it's like it's confidence porn. Sometimes it's just like that watching somebody be really good at something. But sometimes it's like you need to do something else. We're bored.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes it's just bad movies. Sometimes it's Cyborg Cop or whatever, Android Cop. Sometimes it's Android Cop, which is just not a good movie. It's just like, why would you make that in the first place? He makes a lot of bad stuff.
He makes some bad
He had
decisions.
one earlier this year, which was, I believe, a remake or a reboot called Trouble Man.
I did see about that. I was going to ask you
I
what you.
don't recommend it.
Okay, all right.
I will. So actually, what I'll say this, and I said this in my review on it, is
There's your hip hop
the
right
movie
there.
overall. The movie overall is bad.
Okay.
But some friends of mine named Art School Dropouts. They make a bunch of short films on YouTube. They're fight choreographers, martial artists, and stuff. They actually got to choreograph that one.
Oh, nice.
So despite the movie being bad, because their choreography is so good, it's probably one of the best Michael J. White movies in years.
Oh, okay.
The movies are bad. The movie itself is bad, but in terms of the fight scenes, it's some of the best he's put down in a while because they did some really, really good work.
That's good.
I will say one good thing about it in that movie is Method Man is in it,
I saw that. That's why I was like, you got some. There's your hip hop and martial arts there.
right? But Method Man in the movie is hilarious.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's just like this he's this like entrepreneur, businessman, super cocky, confident, and just like everything he does is funny. And like there's a really funny running gag where like he just always has another car. So like at one point,
Is that a
he
mistake?
takes Michael. Well, no, it's just because he has so much
Oh, I
money, I
gotcha.
guess, or or they're stolen. I don't
Okay.
know. But like he like walks Michael J. White to the parking lot, and they acknowledge his car at one point. And then at one point again, he pulls up with Michael J. White in like a totally different car, and Michael J. White's like, "What is this car?" And then again, he shows up later again, and it's a totally different car, and Michael J. White's constantly surprised of like, "Where are these cars coming from?"
Yeah, that's what's up. Now, I might check that one out if you say it's got good choreography at least, but we'll see.
It's some good stuff in it. It's just not a good movie, and there's some acting in it that is atrocious. And like, I think I said this in the video. I normally don't care about acting in low budget movies, because I acknowledge that this is a low budget movie. You're not always going to be able to afford the best actors. But holy shit. I don't know if there's like some small roles for like henchmen and stuff that get speaking parts. And I'm like, was this just somebody's friend? Because
It
oh my
happens like
god,
that.
they're
Yeah,
awful.
that's crazy.
But it's bad.
Dang. And I guess before we get off that, this is going into something else because we're talking about Donnie Yen. Do you like Blade 2?
It's my favorite Blade movie.
Okay.
I think it's the best Blade movie.
Okay. All right. That's what I was going to ask.
I like it more than Blade 1. I think it is probably a better movie, but also in terms of the fight scenes, it has the best fight scenes in any of the Blade movies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that comes down to the movie pretty much being choreographed by Donnie Yen and Michael Woods and that whole team. Because Donnie Yen's even in that movie for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He like dies off screen.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Blade 2, I laugh at that little CGI scene.
That's at the beginning where
Yeah.
him and the ninja vampire just suddenly become rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part's very funny. But in terms of like the actual fight choreography and everything in the rest of the movie, I think it's the best. Blade.
That's what's up. Something else I want to ask you too is I never asked you. Do you like Ninja Assassins?
No.
Okay. What's
I know I probably should. I actually rewatched it like at the beginning of COVID. I remember watching it when it came out, and I just didn't like how much CGI there was. Like every weapon was CGI, every bit of blood was CGI, and it was like super dark, and you couldn't see a lot of what was going on. And so I hated it when it first came out, and I rewatched it a bunch of like 5 years ago, and I still was just kind of like, yeah, this isn't really my bag.
okay? All right. I was curious.
Yeah. There's cool things in it. I like that Sho Kosugi is in it, and that's probably about
Yeah.
it.
I had a feeling you weren't gonna like it, but I was like, let me see what's up. You know,
Man, it's fine.
it's
It's
super
not
bloody, but yeah.
Not my thing. Let me see what else I got here. So we get those 2 fight scenes: the sword fight with John Salviti and the hands chained together fight scene with Donnie Yen. What'd you think of those?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's just impressive, man. It's like and what I like about this movie too is just like I said, you get a little bit of everything. Like it's a crime, corruption, fraud, drug thing, and then you get some shooting, then you get some fighting. And that was like one thing, like so that's why I wanted to ask you, like qualifying a martial arts film versus just an action movie. If it's something that has a good mix of shooting and hand-to-hand combat, do you say martial arts? Like, how do you feel about that?
So it's something that I think Hollywood has fallen into in the past decade, and it's this weird thing where I guess I feel like at some point the Hollywood martial arts film, it should come full circle in the next few years, and we should just start getting straight up Hollywood martial arts movies, and we kind of have with the John Wick films and arguably Ballerina, but it's like I'll say with that scale, I'll say watch John Wick 1 and 2. Those are action movies with some martial arts.
Yeah.
Watch John Wick 3 and 4. Those are martial
Those
arts.
are martial
movies.
arts movies, and they still label it as action, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you get the gunplay. Like when he goes back into the Continental and they send in their like forces in the armor, like that's the gun scene. But that's the gun scene in a martial arts movie.
Yeah.
Like all the rest of that movie is him fighting like the Chinese dudes doing wushu. It's him fighting the guys from the raid doing Silat. It's him having a sword fight with Mark Dacascos. Like, yeah, there's also a gun scene in the desert with Halle Berry, which is dope. But that's a martial arts movie. You go to John Wick Chapter 4, and yeah, there's the gun scene, the overhead dragon's breath scene, and there's a little bit of gunplay in that.
Yeah.
The opening fight scene of that, he's using fucking nunchucks. And then we
John
get a fight
Wick
scene
4 your
between Donnie
favorite?
Yen. It's a tie between 3 and 4. But like even in 4, we get a sword fight between Donnie Yen and Hiroyuki Sanada. We get fight scenes between John Wick and Donnie Yen. We get Donnie Yen fighting Scott Adkins. Like 3 and 4 are martial arts movies through
I
and
want to
through.
ask you, Scott Adkins. I mean, what do you recommend for him on his movies? Like it's
So you brought up Ninja Assassin. I'd say with another ninja movie I do prefer is Scott Adkins' Ninja 2 Shadow of a Tear.
okay,
I don't think you fully need to see the first one, although the first one's pretty decent.
okay,
Ninja 2 Shadow of a Tear. Accident Man is probably his most like kind of really fun. It's very Guy Ritchie feeling.
okay, okay.
His best movie overall is probably Avengement, which you could even make the argument and say Avengement is not a martial arts movie, but it's like it's very brawly.
Okay. Okay.
But Avengement through and through is just his best movie. Avengement is a great movie.
Okay.
But Ninja 2 Shadow of a Tear, Accident Man, Avengement.
I remember hearing about Accident Man. So yeah. Okay. Okay.
Accident Man is solid. But he's got a really really good filmography. But those are probably like the 3 that I'd say like check out those 3.
And you respect his skills.
Oh yeah, Scott Adkins. I have loved him since I first discovered him on YouTube. Because I was just looking for fight scenes. That's what I used to do. I'm not hearing shit out of that earbud. There it goes. But he's in the Undisputed movies, at least 2 through 4.
Yeah.
So have you seen that like Undisputed 1?
Yeah, I've seen the first one. Yeah.
So it's Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames, right? So the second one they bring in Michael J. White as the
Oh,
Ving
sorry, I
Rhames
did see that
character.
one. Yeah. So the first 2 only.
Yeah. So Michael J. White plays the same character as Ving Rhames in the first
Yep.
one. Scott Adkins in that is the bad guy, but his character was so cool. His character was so beloved, and then he also had such a good relationship with the director Isaac Florentine that they then just continued the series with his character. So now the third one, the Undisputed 3 is Undisputed 3 Redemption because it's Scott Adkins coming back from being the villain and finding his redemption to become the hero in the third one, and then his story concluding in the fourth
Oh
one.
wow.
So my discovery of him was the Undisputed 2 and 3, and instantly I was like, this guy's incredible.
That's what's up.
And from there I start, that was 2012. From there I start discovering his filmography, and Ninja 2 comes out. And the moment Ninja 2 comes out in 2013, I'm like, oh, this guy's my favorite.
Yeah, I want to watch
Like,
Ninja
it's
2,
so
man.
good.
That's what's up. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, the first one's not completely necessary, but
Okay.
number 2 is
But Shadow of a Tear is necessary. Okay.
it's so
All
good.
right. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. And it's on Tubi too. Let's go.
Hell yeah. It's a great one. But yeah, Scott Adkins has been one of my favorites since like 2013.
Okay. Okay. I figured. All right. I had to ask. Had to double check.
Before we conclude and jump into like the final fight scene of this one, I'm going to hit you with a Kung Fu fun fact
All right. Let's do it.
for Tiger Cage 2. And that is the alternate ending, which I watched last night, and it was weird. So, this movie got some international releases across Asia. One of those countries being Malaysia. And Malaysia at the time, I don't know if they still do, had certain rules about what you could show in movies. One thing you could not show in movies at the time was you could not promote vigilanteism. Just being a vigilante and breaking the law for good or whatever that stuff is. Being Batman. So they labeled Donnie Yen in this movie as a vigilante.
Okay.
Breaking the law and all that stuff. So they filmed an extra fight scene at the end where pretty much they replaced the fight scene. Instead of getting Donnie Yen versus Robin Shou in the alternate ending, they brought back the Cynthia Khan cop from earlier, that woman cop who had the shootout and everything. They brought her in to fight Robin Shou instead of Donnie Yen. And then at the end, when she beats him pretty handedly, pretty easily, instead of him dying, handcuffs him, handcuffs Donnie Yen. Also, Yuen Wu Ping, because of all this like stuff, Yuen Wu Ping was just like, I'm not filming that. So Yuen Wu Ping does not direct this fight scene because he's like, I'm out. I'm not doing that. Donnie Yen also was like, I'm out. I'm not doing that. So at the end of the movie, when you see Robin Shou and Donnie Yen being arrested and put in the cop car, you don't see Donnie Yen's face. You only see the back of his head because it's not him. And
Of course
then
not.
it ends so like it feels almost like a like you remember back in like the 80s and 90s they would do the special episode and stuff
Hmm.
like that where it like teaches you a lesson.
Hmm. Gotta have those.
So Rosamund Kwan talks to Cynthia Khan and says thank you for coming, and Cynthia Khan shakes her hand and says thank you for cooperation, and they leave and the movie ends right there. And I'm like, this was awkward and
I
weird.
mean, I do think that the
So
ending of this
they
movie is kind of abrupt, though. Anyways, but I mean, is that
but that's very old school Hong Kong.
okay?
Like
All right.
they a lot of old school movies, they didn't tend to just wrap things up. They didn't tend to have like that one more scene where they're relieved of their crimes and pardoned,
That's what I,
and
yeah, that's what I
everybody
wanted to
gets to
ask
go about
you.
and live
But
happily
that's a
ever
normal
after.
thing. Okay. All right.
Yeah, like the most egregious example is like Crippled Avengers, where what made it so egregious to me is it's like five heroes, and in the end they take down the bad guy and they kill the bad guy. But in the final fight, one of the five heroes dies. So after the remaining four kill the bad guy, they just high five, walk off, and movie ends. And I'm like, can we not address the dead friend? Like, can we not talk about that? But yeah, so even the ending of this, it's very standard for bad guy's dead, movie over. But like the ending of this being so back to school or like after school special of like thank you for cooperating with the police and movie ends right there. I'm like, this was weird.
So this is, I guess, I'm assuming on your Blu-ray you have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
So it has the this right here. This was the '88 films. This was also like a Region B
Show me.
release. But
Oh, dang. That's a nice.
it's
Is
dope.
that who's that from?
That is '88
Oh,
films. There
88
is
films. Okay, I got you.
also, I believe, an Arrow release, maybe a shout release of this for Region A, but this is the Region B
Okay.
release. Yeah, this had the Malaysian cut, which for that one I didn't watch the whole movie. I just fast forwarded to the end because I wanted to see that alternate ending.
I was
And
gonna
it
say,
was
are
weird.
you gonna get the hard boiled set or did you already get it?
I don't have it yet. I have to see where it's not sold out at because I went to look at it on like
Yeah.
Groove or something and it was already sold out. So I gotta see where I can buy it. But it's also like $50, and
I
I'm
know
like,
that's.
I have hard boiled on
Yeah.
DVD. Do I want to spend 50
I
bucks
know
on 4K?
it's a little steep. I kind of sat on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that was the Kung Fu fun fact.
That's what's up,
for
man.
this movie was the weird
That's what's up.
alternate
That's
ending.
that is weird. But I'm glad you mentioned that character though.
It
That
is
lady,
strange.
like she was pretty tough. She had some good fight scenes too. She's
She's
really
good.
good. So
Also, like I didn't know. So her name is Cynthia Khan. I'm sure that's not her real name whatsoever. The What I heard on the commentary of this was the reason she's named Cynthia Khan was because Cynthia Rothrock had gone back to the States by this point. So Cynthia Rothrock has gone back to the States, and Michelle Yeoh at this time in 1990, 1989 was in an early retirement. She retired. She didn't come back until 93 in Super Cop. So they were like, Cynthia Rothrock is gone. Michelle Yeoh, who at the time was going by Michelle Khan, was retired. So Cynthia Rothrock, Michelle Khan, Cynthia Khan. So they brought in a new girl and just called her Cynthia Khan and said she's Michelle Yeoh or Michelle Khan's
wow,
sister.
that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hong Kong was weird.
But those are, I mean, clearly they're stars, man. I mean, geez, really good.
Like imagine if like some Hollywood studio, so like let's say like right now we have like Amy Adams and I don't know like what's
No, no, you
the
could just say
redhead
Jennifer Lawrence
actress's
or
name whose name
somebody.
I can't
Who's,
think of.
uh,
Well, I was gonna try to think of like two
oh,
like
redheaded.
redheaded
Oh, I got you.
actresses. Imagine if like Amy Adams is popular but then she disappears and then like some other redheaded
Mm-hmm.
actress comes in and they're like that's Sarah Adams. That's Amy Adams' sister.
Nah, that ain't gonna work, man. That ain't gonna.
Yeah, Hong
they,
Kong
they
was just
they
weird.
made it work for the time, I guess.
Do you have any final thoughts here coming out of Tiger Cage 2?
Final thoughts is good recommendation. I enjoyed the pairing. I thought it was solid. Like I said, I'm a '90s action guy. I eat that stuff up. So right, like from the very beginning, once the music hit, and I see the way Hong Kong looks, I was like, yes, sir, let's get it. So I enjoyed both movies, man.
Yeah, I saw this one pretty early, probably when I was like a teenager at some point, and it was I loved it very much. I still need to watch the third one, and I need to rewatch the first one because I don't remember a whole lot about it. I watched it on TV during a glorious month of television. AMC had a show called Into the
Hmm.
Badlands, and it was a martial arts TV show. So for like a month before Into the Badlands premiered, AMC like every night would marathon martial arts movies. So like every night for a month, I'm watching AMC because they played Tiger Cage 2, they played The Raid, they played like
Yeah.
just random stuff from all over the world. So that's the only time I saw Tiger Cage 1, and the only thing I remember is Donnie Yen getting shot in the face, and I was like, oh, I'm sad, I'm bummed out
Jeez.
now.
And that was the way he went out, just like
Yeah.
that.
I think he like I think maybe like one of the other cops like turns on him or something, like he's betrayed by a
Dang.
dirty cop and
He
he gets
was he
shot in the
was
face, and I was like,
he
I
was
don't want to
paying his
finish this
dues,
movie.
man.
Yeah, I mean he already had like he had already had a few movies with Yuen
Oh,
Woo-ping at the time, so he was already a
oh,
decent
okay.
enough
Well,
star.
dang, shot in the face. Goodness.
Yeah, sometimes you just
What's
gotta shoot a
that?
brother in
Game
the
of
face.
Death, Bruce Lee.
Uh,
Jeez.
yeah. So coming out of these two movies, what do you think of this journey into both Donnie Yen and Yuen Woo-ping?
Really enjoyed it, man. I already had the respect for Donnie Yen. Uh, Obviously, as the director, I knew like more of the commercial side. Like when I say commercial, obviously the well-knowns. And then seeing this was hats off, man. I'm gonna dive in after this. Because one thing about me is like if
Hell
I
yeah.
see something, I'm like, all right, now I got to get into the filmography of the director. And so now I'm gonna be binging.
Hell yeah.
So that's kind of what's gonna happen with Wu Ping for me. Thanks to you
Um,
for that.
you're welcome. I'm gonna give you a list of things that now you have to binge watch before you can watch anything else. What are some takeaways from this experience with Kung Fu cinema?
Man, the takeaways is just go into it, man, and don't. I mean, obviously you can look and see what you're getting into, like with the synopsis or whatever. But I say just click it. If you see it on Tubi, click it and get into it. I think it's just like I said, this Iron Monkey's been on my list for a long time. I mean, I've always known about this movie. So I think the thing is like I think Tubi's doing a great job of like putting this stuff out there, cataloging them.
Tubi, yeah, Tubi's
And
got a
so
great
I
catalog.
think
Yeah,
it's just a matter of just clicking on them and watch it because you're going to enjoy
yeah.
it. And some people, I think you're going to
Tubi's got
find
it. Prime's got some
everybody's
stuff.
style may be different. Some people may more want a little bit more serious. But I think it's just kind of experimenting and seeing what you like. Do you like more of the comedy action? Do you want something serious? You were talking
Yeah.
about how martial arts you can have shooting and shootouts and stuff like that. And do you want more of the crime syndicate style stuff? Like everybody's thing is different. So I'm kind of finding my window on like what my favorite is. Is it, Mr. Nice Guy or is it something like this? So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just depends. But the range is it's a wide range. I don't think people
Yeah. Yeah.
give enough credit to that.
No, and I've sort of talked about that in the past before. Of like when people hear kung fu movie, they have some sort of idea of what
They
they're going to
stereotype
get.
it.
They think of Kung Fu Hustle. Yeah, they stereotype it. They think of Kung Fu Hustle. They think of a goofy Jackie Chan movie. And like, yeah, sure, a lot of them are probably going to have something
Mhm.
goofy in it. But like by the end of the movie, it's also going to hit you with something pretty heavy too. So like, you're going to picture a Jackie Chan goofy comedy. You're going to picture Kung Fu Hustle because that's what people have seen. And something that, even as much as I enjoy it, something that's probably helped like set the tone in a negative way is something like Kung Pao Enter the Fist,
Yeah,
which as much as
it's
I
fun.
love it and
It's
laugh my
fun.
ass off at it, people see someone taking the piss out of a whole
Mhm.
genre, and now they can't take that genre seriously.
That's a huge issue
But if you
though.
just
That's a
like
huge
dive
issue
in
though,
and
because I mean you got the
yeah,
Wayans brothers making fun of a
Right.
genre of horror. You have
Yeah, you got Austin
Austin
Powers
Powers
making
making
fun of
fun
a
of all
spy
the
genre.
Bond movies, so it's not fair. I mean, it
Yeah.
definitely deserves to exist, and people enjoy it for what it is. It's just it's about educating yourself on the genre, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't feel like America's done a good enough job of highlighting martial arts, but regardless of them putting it in their movies or not, they're not doing a good enough job of like educating people or putting enough out, in my opinion. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something that we see, I guess, maybe in hip hop as well, is Hollywood and greater industries using something to their
hmm
advantage, selling it for their advantage in a way that makes them comfortable, but not actually taking the time to appreciate and acknowledge the
yeah,
history of it.
and that's why I think
Yeah.
like John Wick 4 is, and when I'm thinking of this era, it's the biggest.
Yeah, and that's what makes the John Wick movies so good is you see the
Yeah.
appreciation because you have the director in Chad
hmm
Stahelski is not only a stuntman himself, so he knows how to make the action look good from a stunt perspective, but Chad Stahelski, David Leitch, these guys are Hong Kong
Yeah,
action
they are.
nerds. These guys have an appreciation for that whole
hmm
culture, that whole history of a genre, a history
Yeah.
of cinema. So, what makes the action in the John Wick movies so good is that, yes, the guy who comes from a stunt background is going to make sure the stunts look good, but also on screen, he's going to pay his respect to everything he loved that came before it, and he's going to make it
hmm
his own.
hmm
Like, that's what makes those
There you
movies so
go.
good.
There you go. Yeah,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I feel like it's been a long time coming, man. I'm glad to finally be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I first started this thing, you were one of the first people I had on the
Hey,
list. So you've sort of already answered this question, but coming out of this, how likely are you to dive into the genre?
what you mean? I'm about to watch them tonight. What you mean? I'm about to watch them tonight. What you
I
mean?
love to hear it.
It's like, bro, like it's crazy because like I can sit up here and make a video talking about all the Jackie Chan movies I've watched, put it together, package it, but I mean, dude, there's a lot out there I have to see. And
Mm-hmm.
this was just one of
Yeah.
those like you just hit me with Tiger Cage 2. Boom. I'm like, oh damn, how was this not on my radar? What happened? Yeah, this
Yeah.
so there's yeah, it's quite a bit of
There's a
work
lot
to
of great
do,
stuff
but
that slips
it's
under the
gonna be fun
cracks.
though. So and I think as we're
Hell
wrapping
yeah.
up, and I'm being real with you, as we're wrapping up kind of the year's releases, a good way for me to mix
Mm-hmm.
in the martial arts movies as I'm wrapping up the years because we're already, wrapping up the year for 25. So then going into like this week and going into January, all through January, I'm gonna be on martial arts for real. So
Hey, January, as we call it in the Kung Fu Cinema community, January is Jackie
that's
January.
true. That's true.
January, you just binge
That's
watch Jackie
true.
Chan movies. It's
I think
Jackie
that's the
January.
perfect time. So
I got two more questions here for you. One of them is, if going into a kung fu journey, do you have any questions or anything about the genre itself, or Donnie Yen, Yuen Wu Ping, anything like that?
I guess the big question is, so if I wanted to find like more sword fights or anything like that, is there a certain
Mm.
series you recommend or
Um, so I told you about Duel to the Death. Duel to the Death is
okay,
is a good one. Because when I say it's a Japanese fighter and a Chinese fighter, it is like that movie's almost all just
okay,
sword fights.
okay,
Um, so Legendary Weapons of China is like almost all
mm,
weapons based.
mm,
It's a Lau Kar Lung
okay,
film.
okay. Very weapons.
One that I love very much. There's a Sammo Hung movie called Odd
Okay.
Couple. What that movie is really fun because it's sword versus spear. But what that movie is what it's about is you have these at the beginning of the movie you have these two old men rivals. One is a master of the spear, one is a master of
hmm
the sword. And they're played by Lau Kar Wing and
mm
Sammo Hung. So at the beginning we see them
hmm
fight and it's a draw. Then they get students. And so like at the beginning they're these old men, but then they get these students and it's still Sammo Hung and Yuen Wu Ping, but they're young. So Sammo Hung now learns spear. He at the beginning he was a sword user as an old man, but now this young Sammo Hung character comes in and he learns spear from old Lau Kar Wing, and young Lau Kar Wing learns sword
Oh,
from
that's
old
dope.
Sammo
That's
Hung.
dope.
So by the end of the movie, we get a rematch of the actors, but they're playing
Yeah.
new characters, and they swap weapons.
Okay.
So now we get one character who was previously
Yeah.
one actor who was previously using a spear is now using a sword, and one actor who was previously using a sword
That's
is now using a
legit.
spear. And it's I like the flip at
Man,
the
I
end
wonder how
of
much training that
that
takes,
whole thing.
man. Jeez, doing that.
I mean, there are guys who have they were forced to train as a kid, and if they didn't get good, they were
That's
beaten.
true. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's how it
that's
worked.
true. That's true. So okay, all right. So I added those to the watch list on there. So that's good. Okay. I mean, there's just so many different. I mean, how do you feel? Okay. So when you look, have you ever looked at the Letterboxd Top 250? Have you looked at it recently?
I have actually looked at it fairly
All
recently.
right. So how do you feel about what you see? Like, are you happy to see Yuri?
So I haven't looked at like all of it. I think a lot of the time it's a lot of the same stuff. The reason I looked at it is because I thought about making like TikToks going through like the Letterboxd Top 250 or the IMDb Top 100 or whatever, and saying like, here's a movie that's on the top 250. If you like this movie, here's a martial arts movie
Okay.
you should watch. If you like this movie, here's a martial arts movie you should watch. So I haven't like done like a super deep dive on it. I sort of like just looked at like both ends of it, like what's at 250.
But are
what's
you
at
happy
1.
to see Harakiri at number one?
I mean, yeah, I think it would be cool to see something like, and I'm not sure if it's on there or not, but I think it would be cool to see something like a Shaolin versus
Okay.
Lama or Heroes of the East or
Okay.
something on there. But yeah, a lot of the time it's a lot of the same stuff. It's a lot of the stuff that you're gonna find in the Criterion Collection. And I'm like, yeah, but there's a lot of movies that deserve that recognition. There's a lot of movies that deserve that Criterion spot that aren't on there.
I was curious to see how you felt about that. So
Yeah, there's like I said, it's a lot of good stuff, but it's a lot of the same stuff. And I'm like, dive a little
Yeah.
bit deeper. Find those
I hear you.
gems.
I hear you. That's what's up. And I think Seven Samurai was up here at the top. Where the heck did it go?
Seven
Oh, I
Samurai
said
is
number
everywhere.
five. There it is.
And I love that movie. I love that movie. I didn't love it for the martial arts. It's not got the most thrilling fight scenes in the world. That's not really something they focused on in 1954
Yeah,
or whatever
no,
year it
yeah.
was. Yeah. Final question here, and I already know the answer based on how this conversation's gone. Did you have
Absolutely.
fun?
I'm glad to finally be on, man. This was cool.
Hell yeah. Like I said, when I first had this idea, I was like, I've got like a list of the people that I know need to be on here, and you were on that list.
That's good looking out, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to update you on what I'm watching and what I see and what I think. So
Hell yeah. And if you need any recommendations on anything, I can always shoot you some recommendations.
that's what's up.
Kev, where can everyone find you? What you got going on?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram. We're actually podcast took a little break. Everybody's fathers now, so we got two first time dads, so they took a little break. So we're gonna be starting back up in January. You can find us on our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Real for Real podcasts. We'll be starting back up. Our last episode was Superman Legacy. Embarrassing, but yeah, we're going. We're starting back up.
Nah, and I'll have all those. I did look. I was looking at the podcast. I was like, they haven't had an episode since July. But I will have all those links. I will have links to everything in the description down below. Of course, you can find me at Martial Arts Film Freak just about everywhere. Martial Arts Film Freak on Instagram. I got the Facebook page, on TikTok, Blue Sky, and all that. Thank you so much for watching this episode of I Welcome You to Kung Fu. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do all those things. Let us know in the comment section what you thought of our movies today. And if this is your first time here because you just like Kev, you like The Real for Real, you followed him from TikTok and you wanted to watch him talk about some Kung Fu, or you checked this out because you like some Donnie Yuen. If this is your first time here, I welcome you to Kung Fu.